Hi everyone, this is Dr. Manu Krishnan K, and today we'll be discussing about the external features of spinal cord along with the meningeal coverings. We will see what are the special features that we can observe on the external part of the spinal cord. Then we will see the individual layers which covers the spinal cord, which are called as the spinal meninges, and we will see in brief the blood supply of spinal cord. So let's begin with the general features of the spinal cord. So here you can see a representation where you can see the entire spinal cord with the spinal meninges, and it is located within the vertebral canal. So this is a typical vertebrae here, where you can see the body of vertebrae, then the pedicles on either sides, then you can see the transverse processes and the spinous process here, and between the spinal cord and the meninges and the vertebral canal you can see a black colored space, and that is called as the epidural space. So these are the basic things you should know before looking into the spinal cord. So let's remove all the other subjects and let's take only the spinal cord here. Let's have a closer look. So here you can see the spinal cord with its immediate meningeal covering called as the pia mater. So here you can see the gray matter of the spinal cord. This is the anterior horn, posterior horn, the central canal. Then you can see the white matter as well, which is represented in the yellow color. So this is the anterior part of the spinal cord, and this is the posterior part of the spinal cord. And let's see the external features. So the first feature which we have to identify is the anterior median fissure. So here you can see a fissure, a deep fissure formed in the anterior aspect of the spinal cord, that is termed as the anterior median fissure. So this is the anterior median fissure, and exactly opposite to that, on the posterior part, on the posterior surface you can see a small depression, and that is called as the posterior median sulcus. So this particular point here you can see a sulcus, and that is termed as the posterior median sulcus. And when you consider the area between the posterior median sulcus and the anterior median fissure, you can see two extra sulci. So one here and one here. So how these sulci are formed, and what are the names of the sulci? According to the location, we can name them as, this one over here is the posterolateral sulcus, and this one over here is the androlateral sulcus. So this is located posterolaterally, hence it is called as posterolateral sulcus. This is located post-androlaterally, and that's why it is called as the androlateral sulcus. So I'll repeat. You can see the central canal through which the cerebrospinal fluid will be passing. Then we have the anterior median fissure here. Then we have the posteromedian sulcus here. Then the posterolateral sulcus and the androlateral sulcus. So these are the basic external features you should know about the spinal cord. And from the posterolateral sulcus is the origin point of the dorsal nerve root, and from the androlateral it is the ventral nerve root. So this you have to keep in mind because we will be discussing that in the following series. So here you should know just these features which I have told you. So now let's add each layers of the spinal meninges. So I am adding here the arachnoid matter. So here now you can see the spinal cord. Then you can see the immediate covering, that is the pia mater. Then outer than that, like you can see the arachnoid matter, you have to consider the margin of the blue color here as the arachnoid matter, and the space between the pia mater margin and the arachnoid matter margin, this particular area is termed as the arachnoid space. So that is the subarachnoid space between the pia mater and the arachnoid matter is the subarachnoid space. Now I'll add the dura mater to the picture. So now you can see the all three layers where I have included the orange colored pia mater, then the subarachnoid space, the margin, that is the arachnoid matter, and the outer green color one, the outer one is the dura mater. So dura mater, arachnoid matter, and the pia mater, these are the three meningeal layers, the spinal meninges. And there is another space which is formed outside the dura mater where it is placed inside the vertebral canal. So here you can see a black colored area, right? The black colored space which is present outside the dura mater and within the vertebral canal is termed as the epidural space. Okay, so the vertebral canal, the spinal cord is located inside that with the coverings, the spinal meninges, and between these two you can see a space that is the epidural space. Here is the epidural space. So this concludes the basic external features and the meningeal coverings of the spinal cord. So now let's see how the blood supply of the spinal cord is happening. So when we look at the blood supply, let's look at the spinal cord little closer and let's name the arteries which supplies the spinal cord, and we will just demonstrate them with red dots. So I'll be just placing red dots here to represent the arterial supply. So the first arterial supply is the anterior spinal artery. So that will be coming here. So here this red dot represents the anterior spinal artery, and we have two posterior spinal arteries which are not placed entirely posteriorly, they are placed posterolaterally. So these two red spots represents the posterior spinal arteries. So there are three arteries, the anterior spinal artery and two posterior spinal arteries, and there are certain radial arteries, the radicular arteries, which will be supplying the tissue of the spinal cord, and there will be a plexus or a network which is formed inside, and that arterial plexus on the spinal pia mater is termed as arterial vasa corona. So there are from the spinal pia mater, from this orange color layer outside immediately outside the spinal cord, there will be a plexus of arteries entering the spinal cord, and that is termed as the arterial vasa corona. So these are the arterial supply of the spinal cord. So let's remove the arterial supply and let's discuss about the venous drainage. So the venous drainage is done through two median longitudinal channels, which I am representing with blue dots, median longitudinal channels. So as the name suggests, it will be in the median plane, isn't it? So I am just keeping two dots here. The lower one, that is the anterior median longitudinal channel. This is the posterior median longitudinal channel. And other than that, we have the paired anterolateral channels. So the anterolateral channels I am describing right now. So we are putting two dots here. So you can see two anterolateral channels, the paired ones, anterolateral, these two. And we have two posterolateral channels. So that will be represented by another two blue dots. So I am keeping the two blue dots here. I hope you can see it clearly. We have the two median longitudinal, anterior and posterior. Then we have the paired anterolateral and the paired posterolateral channels, which will be draining the venous return from that of the spinal cord. So these are the basic things you should know. You should know the introduction part, where we have seen the spinal cord is the lower continuation of the central nervous system, which is cylindrical in shape, and we have seen the dimensions and everything related to the introductory part. And now we have seen the external features and the blood supply. So these things should be clearly there in your mind. So that's it regarding the external features of spinal cord. Thank you.